My name is Logan Roberts. I'm here at my home on December the 8th of 2022. My audience members are my mom and my dad. Many of us have seen more footage or watched more movies and have seen a glimpse of what goes on in combat. We see what goes on in the physical realm in terms of pain. What we do not see in war movies or in our footage is what pain is experienced in the mind of a soldier. We've all heard of mental health. It is a common topic in our current society. Some of us may face issues with our mental health. The same applies to soldiers. With your help, overall mental health could improve not only in soldiers, but in regular everyday people as well. As someone who interned with my nonprofit of choice and having held in-depth interviews with the founder himself, I feel I am best qualified to speak on the matter. The nonprofit I am talking about is our local nonprofit, Moral Injury Support Network for Service Women Incorporated, or Missions. I will inform you about Missions, their mission, ironic, how they accomplish their mission, and how you can help in this journey to bring awareness and relief for people with moral injuries. Now, I will begin with what moral injury is, who Missions is, and how they accomplish their goals and their mission provided by their leadership. According to chaplainconsultants.com, retrieved on November 28th of 2022, Brett Litz described moral injury as involving acts of transgression that create dissonance and conflict because it violates assumptions and beliefs about what is right and wrong and personal goodness. Moral injury often occurs when the victim is in the setting of trauma, similarly to post-traumatic stress disorder or PTSD. However, moral injury is distinct and separate from PTSD. Incidents such as warfare, violent uprisings, the COVID-19 pandemic, social justice issues, and domestic and sexual assault are some of the ways many people can be morally injured. To deal with these morally injured people, it has been in the hands of chaplains and faith leaders, psychologists, and social health workers. These people who stand in and help can get secondhand moral injury just from helping all these victims. In Dr. Roberts' study, Women and Leadership Using the Delphi Technique to Affect Organizational Change from 2019, retrieved on November 28th of 2022, it says, the project showed how 21 women could affect change for an entire chaplain corps of several thousand men, showing how just a small amount of women can change how moral injury is treated. Now, with Missions, these victim helpers do not have to work alone. They can instead work with a network to help these victims. Next, I will talk about Missions and how they accomplish their mission. Moral Injury Support Network for Service Women Incorporated works to provide support for women veterans, current service women, and families stricken with moral injury. In a personal interview with founder Dr. Daniel Roberts on November 22nd of 2022, he stated their mission was as such. Missions was organized with the purpose to support women veterans, current service women, and families suffering from moral injury. To accomplish this mission, Dr. Roberts is quoted as saying, we do this by conducting research, educating support providers on the effects and treatment mechanisms of MI, and providing direct support through the Tubman Chaplain Network. Missions is run by a team filled with stakeholders. Again, Dr. Roberts speaks on the leadership in the nonprofit. Women veterans are our most important stakeholders. It is for them we serve. Other stakeholders include chaplains, psychologists, social workers, and community health providers. Finally, you may be wondering, how can I help with this secret epidemic? Well, I'll tell you. Missions hosts the annual Comprehensive Moral Injury Conference. This conference covers many of the aspects of moral injury, such as warning signs, how people become victims of moral injury, and how you can help. On Missions' website, chaplainconsultants.com, you can find many studies, blogs, podcast episodes discussing moral injury if you cannot go to an annual conference. These episodes, blogs, and studies are more short-form studies on moral injury designed to give you facts. There is also books if you wish to purchase physical copies of the research as well. Finally, like most nonprofits, Missions does have a way to donate. You can donate on their website, chaplainconsultant.com. There is a big donate button, and the process you will be guided through if you wish to donate. Now, I will summarize everything I have discussed. In conclusion, you have been told about moral injury and what it is, how it affects people, and how it occurs. Then you were informed on the Moral Injury Support Network for Service Women Incorporated, how they combat and spread awareness about moral injury, and finally, how you can help missions accomplish their job. All that I have said, I hope I have sparked you to find ways to help these affected people. Whether you go to a conference held by the nonprofit, purchase one of their best-selling books and studies, or just straight up donating, I hope you will find a way to help these people who need the help, because without the help, their life may never go back on track. Are there any questions?
Did you learn anything from being an intern with this nonprofit?
Did I learn anything from working as an intern? That's a great question, because it's very important that you actually work for a nonprofit that's educating people and you actually learn something. And I did learn plenty of things, especially how moral injury differentiates between PTSD and moral injuries. They're very different, even though they are caused by very similar things. Thank you for your question. Are there any more questions?
So do you see yourself continuing to work with them or help them, or how might it affect your future?
How might working potentially with missions further impact my life, and will I continue to work with them? That's another great question. I think I will indeed continue looking into them and working with them, obtaining more of their research to better understand moral injury and how I can help them overall as just a person or as an employee. Thank you for your questions, and thank you for your